Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to be talking without a script, nothing. This is going to be my pretty much blank thoughts right off the rip. And just recently on January 22nd, Sue, who is arguably the world's best Lucario, made a Lucario analysis documentation. And I kind of wanted to go over that with you guys, on top of some other little things about Lucario and anti and other things. So we'll get into all the extra stuff later on in the video. But for now, I wanted to talk about this article that Sue created. And again, Sue is one of, if not the best Lucario main in the world. So take that as you will. So he basically says, you know, this is his first blog in a long time. This is a fairly serious analysis of Lucario. If Lucario mains could use this as a baseline and think of different things, that would be great. But just a heads up, this guide is not beginner friendly. So this is aimed towards people who understand and know basically what competitive Smash is. So he goes on and talks about a couple out of shield options, basically saying that down air is what you should go for, mainly out of shield, but understand that Lucario pretty much just has terrible out of shield options. And I've noticed this as well, because you can't really grab out of shield anymore. It doesn't reach anymore. So like when somebody lands on you with an attack, you can't really grab them. You have to like hit them somehow now. And just grabbing out of shield just absolutely sucks with Lucario now, and it's just, you should almost pretty much never go for it anymore. Excuse me. And then he talks about how perfect shield is way better, and and Lucario has better options out of a perfect shield, which I think he's talking about the perfect shield is in the parrying mechanic, if that's what I'm getting at this correctly, because I think that is the new perfect shield in this game, which is the new parry mechanic. Pretty much he says, like, in early percents, go for grabs, later percents, just go for force palm grab. You're going to get more damage, you're going to knock them away, like, you're going to want to go for force palm grab. He's also wanted to point out a little extra thing, that if you perfect shield something, so if you parry something, you can also do double team. So if a move has a long-lasting hitboxes, or multiple hitbox hits, you can use double team to force a counter. Invincibility starts up on frame 4, counter starts frame 5, so there's a 1 frame opening after a perfect shield. It should work. So for example, Palutena's dash attack, Cloud's first hit of forward smash, those are just some perfect examples that you can parry into a counter. Then he goes into, you know, up throw combos, saying like how Lucario's airspeed is very good, you should practice the up throw combos. I basically already did a video on that. He goes into other combos as well, goes into a little bit of edge guarding things, and then he, a lot in this analysis, he talks about Wolf quite a bit. And there's a specific reason that he's talking about Wolf. Wolf is arguably Lucario's worst matchup so far. Wolf is very, very difficult for us. Wolf can rack on percentage, he can juggle us, he has a projectile, he has a reflector, like, he can kill us very early, he can edge guard us, like, Wolf has all of the tools to take care of Lucario and take him down very, very quick. And then Sue goes into some, like, killing options and some confirmations off of Aura Sphere Charge, which, again, I've pretty much covered a lot of this stuff. I haven't covered everything, but I've covered just about like a lot of this stuff in my previous videos. And then he talks about when to go for Aura Sphere charges, about back throw and forward smashes, and Lucario's, like, some of Lucario's potential with the whole, like, how you can jump out of charging, so you can like jump, so you can like B reverse jump, B reverse, or things like that. And then, oddly enough, like, out of nowhere, he talks about how, you know, Me Gunner is kind of similar to him. And he says Lucario's out of shield options are very weak. So in neutral, you need a plan that doesn't use shield that much, or you just have to be very good at the perfect shielding or parrying mechanic. Perfect shielding results in a force palm grab, so if you do get the parry, you can get a force palm grab quite a bit. And then he basically does like a little TLDR on like his finished up thoughts of Lucario so far. And this is pretty much what I wanted to go over with you guys. So he says, this game is really quick. A lot of characters have good damage and kill well. So stocks pretty much melt very quickly. So staying alive is hard. And there's also changes to shields, so projectile characters are better too. So I've noticed this as well. The first month of the game that came out, we were getting free kills. Lucario was busted. I thought he was top tier. He was really good. And then people started to learn the game and learn their characters and their mains better. And now people are starting to know what the kill setups are now. And it's starting to become very difficult for us because a lot of that dumb stuff that we were getting the first month or so of the game just is not working at all. And people have found ways around it. And it's just, yeah, it kind of sucks for us right now. And then again, the whole changes to shields, so projectile characters are a lot harder to deal with. Samus was one of those characters that was very, very annoying to deal with in Smash 4, but once you learn how to perfect shield every single one of her projectiles and like slowly approach her, like it's got a little bit better. But now it's very hard for us because the parrying mechanic is like really hard to just consistently pull off. On top of like there's none of the Smash 4 perfect shielding. So like I said, the new perfect shielding is parrying now. So if you do shield a projectile, it's just doing shield damage, and the more and the more and the more shield damage you get, one of those fully charged shots from Samus is just going to completely break her shield, potentially lose us the stock. So yeah, projectile characters are very annoying to deal with now. He also says, since out of shield options are nerfed, for example like grab, unless you have a good up B or aerial, punishing is nearly impossible. All of this is very bad for Lucario, so it's not really a good environment to use him. I see a lot of Lucario mains complain, and some people ask me for help. Sometimes I want to say I don't know either to some of the questions that people are asking. And I know exactly where Sue's coming from this, because I have people commenting on my videos, like questions like, how do I deal with this? How do I do this? Like, how do I control Lucario's up B better? And there's just, I don't know either. Like, there's just so many things that are just so hard to do, and it's so difficult, and it's even hard to put into words because we just don't know. Like, people ask us for advice and questions and tips, and it's like we don't even know. Like, never, like, I wish I can give you an answer, but we don't know. So it's very hard and it's very difficult too. And then he goes on and says, but this is all in terms of the early stages of the game right now. The game's only been out for like 2 months. Right now, losing to a character that just swings because of unfamiliarity is common. Through time, staying alive at higher percents may become easier with knowledge, but pretty much for now, it's not really possible, and Lucario mains are just not living to the percentages that we want to be living at. We want to be living at 130, and a lot of characters are just not letting us have that. I also wanted to go into something saying how Lucario is a lot lighter in this game as he was in previous Smash games. It might not seem like it at a quick glance, and just playing the game you would never notice it. However, if you go in and you look at all of the statistics and you see the weights of all the other characters, Lucario is actually kind of a lightweight now, when in Smash 4 he was the lightest heavyweight. Now he's kind of a lightweight. He's not there, but he's a lot lighter than he used to be. So living longer is a lot more difficult, on top of only being able to air dodge once, on top of characters, people learning how to kill with their characters at higher percents now, and getting kill combos and kill confirms, things like that. It's really difficult. And then he also goes on and says that perfect shielding all the time becomes common. Things will change as well. Lucario has good options out of perfect shielding, not normal shielding, perfect shielding, which is parrying. He may become really good as players get better. However, he then goes on and says, I am placing my hopes for further findings through labbing and through future patches. So basically he's saying, like, this character is very difficult and he's very, very hard to play right now. So I'm assuming he's not really going to be busting him out in bracket that much as he used to be. And then the next sentence is kind of crossed out and says, if he becomes any lighter, I will use me Sword Fighter. So the world's best Lucario player is going to potentially drop him in Smash Ultimate because of the changes they made to this game. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you just see something that says, job, I quit. Again, further hinting that Lucario is kind of pushing Sue to like, Sue, you gotta stop playing Lucario. Like, Sue is like, I can't do this character anymore. He does not work with this engine. And I agree with Sue. I really, really agree with Sue. Lucario is a very fun character to play as, and I really love him. But at a higher level gameplay, like competitive, like actual hardcore competitive Smash, like tournaments, I don't think he is tournament viable. I don't think he's competitively viable. I think there are certain matchups that he does really, really well in, but the majority of the cast he does pretty bad in. Again, this is all just my personal opinion. This is no facts, so just take that as you will. I think Lucario loses to sword fighters. I do suck at fighting sword characters. I know other Lucario mains do. It's very hard for us. I think fighting sword characters really, really sucks. Projectile-based characters are really, really hard now. Like I mentioned earlier, Samus and the whole new shielding mechanic really, really, like, it's really hard for us now. I think some characters with counters are very difficult to play against. I think Lucario pretty much loses to all of the heavyweights except for King K. Rool. I will go over all of this in another video, but like Ridley, Bowser, and DK, I think all obliterate Lucario. I think it's terrible for Lucario. There are times where, you know, you can do it. It's really just playing around Aura and playing around their space, but it's very, very difficult. Like, you have to be on point with it. So I think like Lucario definitely loses to a lot of weird characters, like Ness and Lucas, for example. I think Lucas is a little bit more doable, but Ness is, I feel like that matchup is almost unplayable, especially now that Ness can hang the yo-yo off the ledge and edge guard Lucario even better now. It's very, very difficult. So then I kind of wanted to go into saying, like, Lucario is either the most hardest and difficult character to play competitively in this game. If not, he is one of the most hardest and difficult characters to competitively play in this game. Your counter argument to that could be, well, Anti is picking him up, and Anti seems to be doing good with him, and Anti is showing off a bunch of Lucario stuff. Which, yeah, I do agree. It's really cool that a top player is finally starting to pick up Lucario and showing off like all these new Lucario things. But there's a lot that even Anti doesn't know about Lucario. Like, just for example, the other day he learned how to do the shield the Aura Sphere cancel technique, where you can do an Aura Sphere charge into Force Palm grab or smash attacks or Nair, Bear, whatever. He's just now learning about that. A top player who is maining Lucario just now found out about that tech. That tech has been known to us 2 weeks before the game even came out. To the people who main Lucario, we discovered that tech 2 weeks before the game came out. When the game leaked and people were hacking their switches, that's when we knew that we can do that tech. People found out about that very, very quick. I think people even found out about that when they were doing when they had the demos of the game too, like right after the announcement of the game and things like that. Like, I think people learned about that tech during the demo of the game, but just now, so we've known about that tech for months now, and just a couple weeks ago in late January, Anti is figuring out about that. So there's even a lot that Anti doesn't know about this character as well. Anti also like agrees with me that Lucario loses to the weirdest and randomest matchups. Like, again, Ganondorf, another heavy hitter, Ike, a heavy hitter, Incineroar. Like, Lucario gets bodied by these characters, and it's very hard to play Lucario against these characters. It's so hard. And I think Anti says he's a Lucario main right now, and I think that by the end of this year, that's going to change. I think Anti is going to drop Lucario. I mean, look at Sue, who is probably the best, if not the best, Lucario main. He's considering dropping the character. I think Anti will eventually drop the character. I think when Anti starts playing Lucario more in brackets and goes to majors, so for example, we have Genesis coming up very, very soon at the end of this week. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Anti plays. and how he does with Lucario. And I don't think that Anti is going to go full-blown Lucario either. I think he's going to be pulling out other characters as well. We'll possibly see Mario as well. But yeah, I think, Anti is going to play a little bit of Lucario, but I don't think he's going to go the entire bracket as Lucario. So here's some things that I wanted to talk about as well. I think Lucario definitely has a ton of flaws in this game that we're just now starting to realize. We didn't realize it earlier in the game because we were getting dumb stuff, we were getting dumb kills, we were killing people at 30-40%, like, we were getting away with the dumbest things ever. But now people are starting to learn the game, they're starting to learn the characters better, they're starting to learn the kill setups better, and it's just starting to become it's getting more and more difficult for Lucario, and it's getting easier for other players to figure out how to deal with us. I also think with Anti picking up Lucario, like, it's shedding some light on a character that people didn't really know in Smash 4, and shedding a light like, hey, this is all the dumb stuff that Lucario can get away with, so figure out how to deal with it. And people are starting to do that. So it's really interesting to see how this is all starting to shape up and play. I think Lucario needs changes. At mid to high percents, we pretty much have no combos. Like, we have little things here and there, but it's not a lot. And it's starting to become very, very difficult without combos. We're starting to become more of a one-hit wonder, which I do understand. Like, it kind of makes sense. It kind of balances things out. But at the same time, like, it's just almost unplayable at some points. Like, in Smash 4, we would still have our combos at mid-percents. We would still have combos at mid-percents, but now we just don't have them at all. And I think a big reasoning behind that is I think Lucario's grab needs to be a little bit better, and I think Lucario's up throw knockback needs to be nerfed a little bit. I think up throw sends people a little too high to the point where you have to perfectly time things to get those true combos of nair, fair, and up air. And you would argue, like, okay, well, you have down throw too, but down throw sends at a different angle. It's kind of like, yes, you can get things off of down throw, but it's not that optimal. Up throw has always been the way to go with Lucario, and it's just starting to become a lot more difficult. I'm happy with the changes that they did make. Like, I'm happy that they buffed his damage at low percent. I'm happy they fixed back air, and I'm happy they kind of nerfed aura a little bit. But at what cost is it? Now we don't really have much. We're more of a one-hit wonder. We have to win neutral in a game where we already lose neutral, if that makes sense at all. I know it's kind of confusing, but that's kind of how it is. Lucario has always been a character that loses neutral and then benefits off of losing neutral and benefits off of living higher and living at those, like, higher percents. And that'll definitely do the trick, but again, this game is very fast. People are learning how to kill. Like, it's just becoming way more difficult to play an already difficult character. On top of all the technical skill that is required behind Lucario to play him at a competitive level, that is very hard to deal with, tacked on with, like, a bracket and a tournament. The tournament bracket, like, the tournament nerves will definitely get, like, tournament nerves, everybody has them. Especially, like, myself, I have them very, very, really, really, really bad. So doing those technical, like, B reverse into Aura Sphere cancel F smash is very difficult because I have nerves at that time. It's hard to pull off those things when your hands are shaking and, like, you're trying not to lose and you're focusing too much on winning, and, like, it's very difficult. And there will be times where I would do, like, a grounded B reverse. Like, I would want to do a grounded B reverse to ledge trap somebody, or a grounded B reverse into force bomb grab or F smash, and it just wouldn't happen. I would just miss input and do the force bomb flame. And the same thing with Lucario's recovery, his extreme speed. I would go and I'd press up and I'd press B, and I had one instance where in bracket I was playing against a Cloud player. They knocked me off the stage. I went to go recover. I pressed up and I pressed B, and for some odd reason, Lucario shot into the blast zone on the bottom, because at the end of the animation, it kind of, like, swerved a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Lucario pretty much just went straight into the blast zone, and I had the stock lead. And from that point on, the other person had the momentum, ended up beating me, and I ended up losing. And recently I just started losing to, like, the randomest, like, low tier players and, like, garbage players and, like, like, I don't know what's happening, and it's just starting to become more and more difficult to play this character, and even these lower level players that I know I'm way better at are starting to beat me, and I'm like, what's going on here? So that's why I think playing Lucario, I'm not going to tell you guys choose your mains, but just know that Lucario is a very, very difficult character to play. Probably, in my opinion, the most difficult character to play in the game, and one of the hardest, most technical characters to play in this game. And just using him at an optimal level is just not going to happen right now. I think there needs to be fixes to Lucario. Like I mentioned before, up throw, and a couple other things need to be changed about him. And people are saying, well, you know, game's early, blah, blah, blah. And I agree, the game is early. There's still definitely, like, even Sue said himself, like, there's probably other undiscovered options that we need to figure out so we can live longer as Lucario. Lucario wants to stay alive at 130%. He wants to take that aura and that rage, and he wants to benefit off of him, but we can't do that if these characters are killing us a lot earlier. There's no simple solution around to this. And that's why if you follow me on Twitter, or even, like, it's been bleeding a little bit into YouTube as well, like, I'm kind of having a character identity crisis. Like, I don't know who I want to play, and I can't keep playing Lucario against these trash players because I'm losing because of tournament nerves, because Lucario is difficult to play, because all the tech is hard to pull off in a bracket where there's pressure on you, and, like, all these other things. So I wanted to try Young Link, and Young Link didn't happen because I was playing against this really bad Bowser. He was living at, like, 230%. on his first stock, and I just couldn't do it, and I said screw that. I love Young Link, he's a cool character, absolutely love Majora's Mask. I can't do it. Young Link can't kill. He is the Sheik of Smash Ultimate, the Sheik from Smash 4. Sheik can't kill in Smash 4. Young Link can't kill in this game. So then I'm starting to play Lucina a little bit more, and she's a lot more fun. She's very balanced. She's like top tier character right now. She's very fun to play, pretty easy to learn. So I'm going to be using Lucina a little bit more, and who knows, that even might change. I might even pick someone else up too. But Lucina is kind of like slowly going to be the way to go right now. For me personally, I'm going to be using Lucina a little bit. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to drop Lucario. I love my little Lucario. Like, he's such a cool character. He's so fun to play, and like, he's kind of my identity at this point. People know me by Lucario. There's almost 3,000 people on YouTube that know me because of Lucario. So he's my identity. I can't drop that guy. So I'll be co-maining. I'll be using Lucario, and I'll be using another character, possibly Lucina. I don't know yet. But you can't solo Lucario this game. Like, it's gonna be so difficult, and like I said, I'm predicting Anti is gonna drop him by the end of the year. And like, people in Connecticut know me as the only Lucario there. People in New England know me as one of the only Lucarios. Like, people on YouTube and people on Twitter, like, Lucario's not going anywhere. I'm still going to be using him, but I'm just not going to be using him as much because he's not that competitively viable. So I'm going to have to be playing somebody else for the meantime until we start to figure out more things and more patches come out. And hopefully Lucario gets better with these patches, because right now it's starting to become very, very difficult. I don't think anytime soon they're going to do any major changes to him, but hopefully within the near future, hopefully sometime this year or next year, like, he gets what he deserves. Hopefully we'll be able to play him better and learn more things with him and figure out the character better. But as the current as the current meta is at this moment, it's just so gosh dang difficult to play this character. It's so hard to play him at a competitively viable level. But again, like I said, I will not be dropping him. I'll still be using him. I am going to be using Lucina a little bit more at this current time. I'm still going to be making Lucario videos. I'm still going to be, you know, doing all this stuff with him. He's not going anywhere, but I'm just saying, like, how difficult he really is to play. And in the current time, I do need to pick up another character. There's like 70 characters in this game, so I need somebody else. Anyways, this video has kind of been going on for long enough, and I just kind of wanted to clear up some things. I wanted to talk about Sue's thoughts on Lucario. I wanted to talk about my thoughts on Lucario. I wanted to talk about Anti and his whole, like, Twitter thing, like, and what my predictions with him using Lucario is, and just my thoughts on what needs to happen to Lucario to make him a better character. So again, this video was just completely unscripted. Everything was just off the top of my head. Like, this is all just pure thoughts that I wanted to talk about, and I hope you guys kind of like that. It's definitely different, and you guys can probably tell that as well. Like, this is just kind of my true self, not scripted, like everything right off the top of my head. Here's me rambling about a bunch of dumb stuff. Like, this video is going on way too long, so again, I apologize about all that. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave it a like. If you didn't dislike it, leave me a comment, tell me why, and leave your thoughts on Lucario down below as well. What do you guys think about him? What changes do you think needs to be fixed? Do you think he's fine? Do you think he actually needs to be nerfed? Do you think he needs to be buffed? Or like, what do you think about Sue's thoughts on Lucario? Just leave those comments down below. I read every single one of my comments, so I'll give it a like, I'll give it a heart, I'll respond to it. I will read everything. So leave a comment down below of your thoughts as well. So with all that being said, you guys should hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me out. My channel is very underrated right now. People are saying your videos are very high quality, but your subscriber count is very low for the amount of high quality content that you're producing. So let's get that number up a little bit. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, join the Discord. You'll always stay notified whenever I upload a video. I always notify it in my Discord. Whenever I live stream, I'll notify in my Discord. Discord is the way to go. You can reach out to me personally there. You can talk, we can hang out, we can play Smash, we can do whatever. Join the Discord, seriously. Follow me on Twitter to stay updated with all of, my thoughts on Lucario, and just kind of keep up with me as well. I also tweet out whenever I upload a video or whenever I'm going to stream as well. So with all of that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day today, and I really do hope you guys like this video. Again, it was unscripted, so everything was right off the top of my head. So let me know if you guys like that. Let me know if I'm talking way too long. I'm going to shut up now. Again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to hit subscribe.